Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Day teasers for Monday, September 23's episode of Days of Our Lives indicate that Paulina Price will see Melinda Trask now that she's safe from all of the explosion drama. Thanks to Connie Viniski, Melinda has experienced a lot, but Paulina will have some good news. Since Stefan DiMera is threatening to cause a scandal, DOL viewers are aware that Paulina wants to take EJ DiMera's, Dan Feuerriegel, place as DA. In light of this, day teasers indicate Paulina will pressure Melinda to return to her previous position as district attorney for Salem. Given that EJ and Gabby Hernandez DiMera recently saved their lives, would Melinda seize the chance or turn it down? Given the situation, Melinda could feel a little bad about taking EJ's job. Paulina, on the other hand, may be adamant that EJ is out and believe Melinda is the ideal candidate to take his place. Melinda might determine she's willing to re-enter the DA post if Paulina is assigning someone else to fill it regardless of the circumstances. EJ will stay by Gabby's hospital bedside in the interim to continue their bonding. Gabby immediately grasped EJ's hand and said that he had saved her life. She will express her gratitude in Monday's episode of Days. Ava Vitali will tend to Stefan's arm wound and extend her own appreciation because he also saved her life. Of course, at some point Ava might pressure Stefan to go to the hospital and get the wound fixed, so he might go there to hear more about Gabby's terrifying story. It's simple to picture Stefan running into Gabby's room to see how she was doing and discovering that she was holding hands with her new hero, EJ. On Monday's DOL episode, Connie will be sporting a secret weapon outside the pub. Day's teasers indicate that when Connie makes one more desperate effort, Jada Hunter, Elia Cantu, will be shocked by the depths of her insanity. Jada just threatened to shoot Connie if she didn't drop the knife she was holding. Will Connie be able to turn the knife on herself, or will Jada have to use the gun on her? There are going to be some incredible scenes in Salem, regardless of whether this fiasco leaves Connie hurt, imprisoned, or both. Finally, according to Days of Our Lives spoilers, Johnny DiMera will surprise Chanel DiMera with a romantic gesture while they spend some quality time together. Stay in for updates on the impending storm as our DOL predictions indicate that Chanel and Johnny's marriage is about to take a serious hit. According to the Thursday, September 19th, spoilers for Days of Our Lives, Shane Donovan was able to get Steve Johnson a visit with Clyde Weston in Supermax by using his connections with the warden. Clyde pretended to be stupid when Steve said that something seemed off and that Abigail DiMera, Annalyn McCord, might not be who she claimed to be. Steve asked how the kidnapping of John Black in Poplar Bluff was related to Abigail after bringing it up. Steve, though, wasn't convinced by any of the tales Clyde attempted to tell. It was lunchtime when Clyde finally ended the visit, but Steve promised to return. On Thursday's episode of Days, which took place at the hospital, Abigail took a chance and went to a private exam room to meet with Mark Green, Jonah Robinson, to show him Clyde's text. Mark was adamant that Abigail follow Clyde's advice and wed Chad DiMera, Billy Flynn, as soon as possible. Mark made it clear that what they were doing had an impact on Felicity Green and Aaron Green, Louis Tomeo, and Abigail conceded that he was correct and that she needed to begin remembering more. Soon after promising to take care of Clyde, Mark left for a visitation at the prison. Before assuming the role of Clyde's lawyer and meeting with him next, Mark managed to catch a glimpse of Steve as he was departing. When Mark pressed Clyde to quit pressuring his sister, Clyde pointed out the potential consequences. Mark and Abigail would never see their sweet mama alive again if they failed to obtain Clyde the DiMera riches. Connie Viniski left the DiMera secret room to get supplies, so Gabby and Melinda Trask shared notes. Gabby attempted to scooch her way closer to her phone, but Melinda and Gabby were still strapped into their chairs. EJ DiMera eventually told Stefan DiMera at the bistro on Thursday's episode of Days that he didn't sleep with Gabby this morning, but he didn't precisely label Gabby a liar either. Stefan concluded from this that EJ was merely giving him what he wanted to hear in order to prevent criticism for stealing babies. EJ left Gabby a voicemail explaining the circumstances and advising them to get their stories straight going forward after taking off. Returning to Stefan on Thursday's DOL program, he asked Ava Vitali, Tamara Braun, to share his bed once more in an effort to level the score. Ava chose not to accept Stefan's pitiful job after all since she was so offended. Ava made it obvious that Stefan wasn't a friend by storming off, saying that no friend would try to manipulate her in this way. On Thursday's episode of Days, Kristen DiMera, Stacey Hayduke, expressed skepticism on the authenticity of Abigail when at the park. Chad hurried to Abby's defense and forecasted that she would recall more. Next, Kristen ran into Connie and got into a fight with her about reporting Stefan for having an affair with Gabby. After Connie left, Chad came back from the area and startled Kristen by telling her that the APB had been spying on Gabby's helper. In the end, Connie went back to the hidden chamber and grabbed the phone that Gabby had been unable to get. Despite Gabby and Melinda's pleas, Connie eventually abandoned them with a device that was counting down to their demise. EJ discovered the fireplace poker that Connie had used to strike Gabby in the DiMera living room and questioned whether blood was present on it. As she prepared to give Chad a false memory, Abigail at the Horton home studied a piece of paper with some notes on it. Abigail covered up the paper and told Chad with excitement that she had thought of something different when he showed up. Keep an eye out for updates on Abigail's strategies, as spoilers on Days of Our Lives indicate that she will continue to try to convince Chad of her false narrative. Spoilers for Days of Our Lives suggest that Foxagill DiMera and Mark Green may have ulterior motives beyond money. Mark and Foxagill appear to be frantic to maintain the hoax. This week, Clyde Weston, James Redd, gets involved and puts pressure on Mark. Thus, is there a tragic explanation for why Mark and Marin are made to work this scam? Keep reading and let's discuss the options. Spoilers for Days of Our Lives, Jack Devereaux and Chad DiMera's search. According to DOL spoilers, Clyde misled Chad DiMera by saying Abigail was still alive. Naturally, Chad was unsure of whether Clyde was sincere or if this was all part of a bigger plan. Chad and Jack Devereaux ended up to Poplar Bluff because Chad had to be certain. Chad and Jack met the mysterious woman while there after following the clues. DOL teasers, Mark Green's financial hint. Money seems to be the most obvious reason for this type of scam. But, soap operas frequently give their characters a chance at atonement. We've seen Mark discuss the financial problem with Aaron Green, Louis Tomero. When Mark considered how he was going to reimburse Brady Black for the lacrosse camp, he became quite irate and anxious. There must be another aspect, even though money may play a role. Something that will evoke sympathy for Mark and Marin among the audience. Now, let's discuss Marin's guilt before returning to the reasons later. Spoilers for Days of Our Lives, Marin Green's guilt. Days of Our Lives spoilers indicate that Marin attempted to withdraw from the scheme multiple times. Marin has been persuaded to continue by Mark thus far. But the more Marin learns about Chad, the more guilty she feels. Let's give thanks that the kids haven't met their pretend mother yet. By speaking with Mark, Marin might not be able to escape. But might Marin wind up confessing something to Chad? DOL recap. How much leverage does Clyde Weston have? If there are other factors at play, why would Mark and Marin take this action? Even with the lies, Marin comes out as a kind girl who regrets what she did to Chad. Furthermore, Kayla Johnson, Mary Beth Evans, has a great deal of faith in Mark. Kayla remarked that they've known one another for a long time. Consequently, something had to have happened to alter Mark's behavior. Is it feasible that Mark's need for money stems from an addiction of some sort? Is it possible that Mark became involved in the drug trade, only for Clyde to utilize it as leverage? Let's see how the Green family may find redemption. Fans are, after all, very taken aback by Mark's deceit.